Hello everyone and welcome to a new video. Today we are going to mod Morrowind. Something quite simple. We're going to tinker with models and try to modify existing models to suit our needs. What we're going to do is create a candle that not only doesn't produce any light but doesn't have a flame either. I actually want to thank Uchiva for the idea. We talked about it over YouTube, so I thought that could be, a good episode. First of all, I'm going to create my own interior cell. Todd has his own testing cell, sorry, and I like to have mine. We're going to work on light, so I'm going to call it light test cell. I will delete it once I'm happy with the mod because there's no reason to make the game load something that it doesn't need. Also, I've left a little space at the beginning. That is just because I like to find my test cell right at the top of the list. So there it is. I have my own cell. We want to look at the lights that we have available. All of these, they're the bulbs. They just, produce light but don't have any shape in the game. Let's see. There, we have candles. And interestingly, we can see that some of them, for example that one, some of them have off in their name. So it sounds like something good. Let's have a look at the regular candle and the off candle. Let's see how Bethesda came to calling it off. That's the regular one, radius 64, orange color, can be carried, which is why it has a name, by the way. If it can't be carried, it can't have a name. And then that one, we have the same thing. It can be carried, it has a name, and off by default has been ticked. This is because, as you probably noticed when you play, you must have torches and candles. They have a limited lifetime, really. They can only burn that long. This one is 120 ticks, for example. So that's not what we want. I'm going to close that. Mind you, I close it this way. If you do save, you're going to create, at best, you're going to create a dirty reference. But I don't know, say with lights I decided to, see what happens, and I click save then every common candle number 1 is going to be pink. So there's going to be 74 pink candles in the game, and we don't know where. So don't click on save. That way you're going to not do something you didn't plan on doing, and you're not going to create a dirty reference. We are going to clean afterwards using Morrowind Enchanted Editor, but the less we have to clean, the better. Anyway, these, not what I want. Not what I want at all. We're going to look for candles that are off but don't have a name, so basically can't be carried. There are some of them. And there we are. So, candle number 2, this is what it looks like. And when it's off, this is what it looks like. Looking at the properties, radius, light, cannot be carried, good. This one, because it cannot be carried, the off by default cannot be ticked off. And what Bethesda did is reduce the red, the green and the blue to 0. So this candle right there does not actually produce any light by itself, but it still has a little flame. I want to get rid of that. We can actually see that this one produces light and this one doesn't. The way I'm going to change that is using Nifskope. Now Nifskope is really not the most powerful tool there, but for me it's just powerful enough. I can't create a model from scratch. I can tinker with one, and that's fine for me. So that will do. Very easy to use. Load. I navigated all the way to Morrowind, data files, meshes, and then I went into L because that's where Bethesda put all of the lights. Now you don't have to know that by heart, I mean, you will after some time when you've been modding, but if you double click on the item to see its properties, right here is where you select the mesh. So that's how I knew that it was in the L folder. It is called light the candle number 2. That's how I knew it. So let's go back to it. Light the candle number 2. There. And this is the one. All good. Nifskope, really quite simple. When I click on different parts of the model, it actually highlights them for me. But for this one, it's quite easy. There it is. Candle flame. I want candle flame and any property attached to it gone. Control, delete, and it's gone. The whole branch is gone. And that's what I want. This particular model is very simple, so using the spells to optimize is not going to do anything, but if you have a larger model, it's a good idea. Combine property is going to, all of these are branches, and all of them have various properties attached to them, for example, the texture. So if different parts of the model happen to have the same texture, well, Nifskope is going to memorize that. Instead of attributing 3 times the same texture to 3 different parts, it just attributes the texture once. At least that's my understanding. Right now it's not going to do anything. There. And again, if you hack some parts off, remove bogus nodes is a good idea. Here there isn't, but it's a very simple item. But it's a good idea to optimize anyway. I have my item. I have my new model. I'm going to save that. Most modders choose to create their own folder. That's what I do as well. I think it's a good idea to keep the L folder with the vanilla items in it. So I'm going to navigate to my folder. That's mine. I made subfolders for items. There's light. And that was my previous testing. I want to call this one candle off. Going back to the construction set. Come on. There we go. I'm going to add my new candle. So I'm still in the light tab. Right click, new. I'm going to look for my model. It is in my folder. It is in lights and it is candle off. Now I don't want a radius of 1000. I don't want a radius at all. And following Bethesda's example, I'm going to put 0 so it does not emit any light whatsoever. I don't need to give it a name because I don't want to pick it up. Okay, there's something else I wanted to do. There. Save, it is not a new object. That way, by giving the name starting with AA, again, my item is going to be at the top. All of my items are going to be at the top. It's a lot easier rather than scroll down every time you're looking for an item. Let's see what we have created. We have created a candle that does not produce any light, much like this one, and doesn't have the flame either. Now that's half of it, because really what I want is to be able to, in-game, to light the candle up or to put it out. So later on, we're going to have a little script. When I activate this, if there's no flame, the flame appears. If there is a flame, then it disappears. We're going to need a flame. Back to Nifskope. I'm going to load the original candle again. There it is. Now, really what I want is just a flame, right? So I could go, select this part, Control Delete. There. Select this part, Control Delete, and that one, Control Delete, and that one, Control Delete. And all that is left is basically the opposite of the other one I created. This is the name of the item. and all I have is the candle. Right, I'm gonna go ahead and save that in my folder, and I'm gonna show you why it doesn't work. Flame, yes, I want to replace you. It says something which is not great. Let's add my little flame. There, there, there. Now this time I'm gonna have a radius, and I'm gonna do the same thing as the other candles really. I had a look at them before, so I know the radius is usually 64. I have a nice orange light, and this is now AA flame. There we go. Putting my flame. Hey, we have a flame, and clearly it produces some light. Brilliant. Just a tiny problem. While I can select it like this, it is going to be impossible to actually select it so that I can move it around. I have nothing to hold on to, basically. And in fact, when we look at other meshes that Bethesda created, I'm going to scroll down to look for the actual fire. Light, fire. There we go. Let's remove, no, you can't see that way. Right, there it is. And I need to find a right angle for you to see. There is right here at the bottom a pyramid, upside down pyramid. And if I select the item, if I try to select it clicking anywhere on the flame or on the particle, I can't. The only part of the model that I can grab and then drag around is this reverted pyramid. And that's what I need to do with my little flame. I need to have something to hold on to. Sorry. So back to Nifskope. This, obviously, I was just too eager to hack pieces off. That's not going to work. I don't know how to add a little shape like that. I just have no idea how to do it. Never mind. I'll work around it. So back to the drawing board. Loading my candle. I want to keep the flame, and I want to keep something to hang on to. So I'm going to get rid of everything except one bit. There. So at least in the construction set, I'll be able to grab this part. I'll have my flame, and everybody's going to be happy. So I'm going to overwrite my little flame. Yes, I overwrite it. Brilliant. So you go away, I don't need you. My little flame there, I don't need you. Let's see. So now I have the flame, and I have this that I can move around. Don't ask me why. The flame doesn't follow that bit, but it does, okay? Just have to take my word for it. It does, especially if I reload the CS, it's gonna be there. You may have seen when you play the game, sometimes you have two identical items exactly on the same spot, and the textures, they're sort of, I don't know, crisscross, and you can see it's flickering. Now, what I worry about is, with this right here, if I'm going to add it to this one, I'm going to make it snap because they're going to align quite nicely. There. If I make it snap, it snaps perfectly, but I actually have the cross at the bottom, I have it twice, and I don't want that. I mean, chances that players are going to look that close and wonder, wait a second, isn't that doubled or thin? But we want to do things properly. So I'm going to open up my first mesh. Meshes, my folder right there, lights right there, candle off right there, and I'm just going to remove that part. So now my two bits together make a whole complete perfect candle. Yes, I want to replace it. That's my candle off. There we go. And that snaps perfectly. So there you have it. We have created a candle in two pieces, mind you. One is just a candle, and the other one is the flame that will be there, I promise you, is the flame. All that is left to do, I like how we have the light source anyway. All that is left to do is create a little script, then test it all, then tidy, then pack. But that's what we're going to do next week. For now, that looks ugly. I'm going to make them snap. There we go. This is my little experimenting. Don't need it. For now, I'm going to save my work. And I'm going to call it lights. Actually, that was my testing one. There we go. Yes, I overwrite it. And I have it. So, thank you for watching. I did tell you it was going to be simple. It is rather simple. But you can play around with that. Of course, you always want to test in the game and see what you've done. That's how you can personalize your pieces of armor in a very simple way. Say, personally, I'm a big fan of... I go to A. That's where I found the armor. I'm a big fan of the Induril plate for the female. It's one of the rare female plates that I like. So I take that, but I think the pauldrons... Anyway, you can experiment, you can tinker around, and it's really quite simple. Just remember to save everything. Do not overwrite, vanilla assets. Clean it up afterwards, and have fun with it. That's it for me today. I'll see you next week for the continuation of this mod. We're going to create a script to toggle the light on and off. Then we're going to clean the mod, and we're going to pack it up. And then we'll have a mod, toggleable lights. Thank you for watching. See you next week. Bye bye.